Hello, hello, hello. Good to see you. You get fairy dust and I get fairy dust and this little sweet girl, Amelie, gets fairy dust. And I wanted to let you know I just have a few more of these, so maybe like 4. So if you need a You've Changed trophy to honor your journey or to counteract as an antidote to someone who says you've changed, please feel free to visit my store, advancedbitches.com, and click on store, and it's right there for you with instructions and some videos. Okay, I have an amazing question. One of my favorite things to talk about is boundaries. And I, just from my own experience and the way that I work with my clients, is that we use as few words as possible to set our boundaries. Because in my experience, the minute it's like, hey, I need to set a boundary, wah, 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 wah. And then also the other thing it does, which I'm an expert at, is how to bypass someone else's defense mechanisms. Skills, have a little hair. And so when we use words, like one of my sayings is like, whenever you say to someone, hey, I need to set a boundary with you, God damn it. Then that person's defenses are already up. You're not in a conversation. The other person is in protection mode. And then secondly, it's the same thing like when you have a family meeting, you say, guys, we need to have a family meeting. Well, good luck, because no one's conscious. Everybody's defensive. Everybody is, the situation's loaded, and none of what you want to say or do is going to get across. And so that's why I believe the best boundaries are invisible. And the only person that needs to take care of my boundary is me. And so the question said something like, so how do you show somebody a boundary? So if you don't like the laundry on the floor, you just pick it up and put it in the basket. And it's just like, no. All that's gonna teach is if I leave my laundry on the floor, somebody's gonna put it in a basket. No problem for me. So what I do, and this is a great example because that is an example from my own life. And so one of the things from my Bitchifesto is Advanced Bitches Use Tools. So for me, I have to go through my list of tools to see where to put this. Now, laundry has its own set of tools, and then maybe a personal boundary about somebody saying something ugly to me or whatever, that might have another set of rules. So I just use whichever tools are the most helpful for the given task. Okay, so the first thing I do when I want a boundary set in my life, I need to check my fucking self. And first of all, one of the things that happened to me when I was like really frustrated about the laundry on the floor, like it was really annoying. And then, I started to take it personally. And one day I was thinking about and so I would mention it, and then it would happen again, and then I would see, and then I was thinking how am I going to set this boundary and really get across that I want the laundry put in the basket, not on the floor? And that's when I looked around the room and I saw my shit, my papers, my book, and then I thought, oh shit, he never says anything to me about any of this shit, and I am a messy bitch and I'm working on it, but he has never in our whole relationship ever said one fucking word about my shit that I leave everywhere. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. And so that instantly freed me of being hooked by laundry on the floor. I was like, yes, bitch, let me clean up this laundry, because he doesn't mind it when my shoes are thrown by the front door and he flung off. He doesn't mind that the dining room is sometimes full of more of my pink paper than it should be. Like, he has never said a word. So instantly the hook, which is why I want to set a boundary in the first place, we see that laundry on the floor and we get hooked immediately. We get resentful, and just like I was. But then when I saw it in the big picture, in context, using my tools, one of the tools is like, let me put myself in this person's shoes. Is there anything that I'm doing and then again, I didn't consciously think of that tool, but I recommend that you do. So if you've got shit that annoys him, so that could be either an instant cure. You're like, I'd love to pick up this laundry so I don't have to put my shit away every single time whatever. I'm not saying this is the healthiest way to live. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying on how to get unhooked from seeing a pile of laundry on the floor that I have asked specifically to go into the basket. So that's all. So my world isn't the way that it should be. It's just the way that I got unhooked. So first case scenario, first tool I would use, is there anything in your life that you do that he finds extremely irritating? And if you don't want to give that up, glass houses shouldn't throw stones, then you say, oh, I love, and then what happens is, I never, ever get upset by seeing laundry on the floor. It never upsets me because all I have to do is pick it up and put it in a basket and I'm resentment free. Okay, so let's say that wasn't enough. Let's say that he still put his laundry on the floor and I know that I've got shit that annoys him, but I'm keep doing that anyway. If that wasn't just the instant fix, the second fix after that is I could make a concession. So I could say, hey, I don't know why, I'm really irritated with the laundry on the floor. I'm just checking to see, and I know you don't like it when you have to trip over my shoes at the front door. So I was wondering if we could make a trade. I'm gonna be way more conscious about putting away my shoes, and I just wondered if you wouldn't mind putting away your laundry and we can trade doing a hard thing. It's so annoying. Don't you hate our lives? Like that's the kind of attitude that I would have. And then what happens is, okay, let's say I do it. And also, what if I don't do it? So somebody can come talk to me, but let's say I do it and he still doesn't do it. Okay. One of the tools is ladder of trust. He's telling me there's something about him that's going on between us or with him completely that he is not doing what I asked. So then I could go to him and say like, hey, if I'm gonna show him, one of the things I could do, it's like, well, it doesn't seem that important to you to put laundry in the basket. So I'm also gonna go back and it doesn't seem that important to you that I'm moving my shoes. So we can just, go from there or whatever. So that's another thing, you can actually make a concession. Okay, so what if he doesn't do it even though I'm moving my shoes? Like I said, I could stop moving my shoes. It wasn't bothering me. It was only bothering him. And so that might be a point of like, hey, I noticed your shoes are back at the front door. And I said, I know. I was making such an effort and I noticed that you didn't. And it kind of disappointed me. So I just assumed because, you hadn't done your part that you had agreed to, that you weren't really, it wasn't that important to you to have my shoes moved. And so, and so then you can have a conversation from there. Let's say you don't want to do any of this or you don't have anything that you could trade. I also think when you're in a relationship that you can trade other things. So let's say you're a neat person and which I'm so jealous, and you put all your things away. There's nothing that you can trade him because you're neat. I would trade him mowing the grass, or I would trade him if he helps me with the dishes, I'll do all the dishes now. Like I'm asking for a trade, so there's something that might benefit him. I'm willing to do that. So, and as see how already my boundary has gravitas. It's not just a cycle of, please pick up your laundry. That's the explosion. Or that's this is my request. And then he leaves the laundry on the floor. That's your explosion. And then you go back to, please pick your laundry up. It's just a cycle that you're on with him. It's a dance. And because you keep doing that dance, or if you keep doing that dance, you're not actually interested in the laundry changing because he's telling you with his behavior, he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck. He may not be doing it on purpose for malice. People are tired when they come home from work and they go unconscious, and we tend to take the road less traveled, so we drop our shit on the floor. And so it may not be personal, but it's becoming personal because it's really, really, really annoying you. Okay, so there's other things you can do. What if you move the laundry basket right next to where he takes his shit off? Like you're just trying to help solve a problem. The focus is on solving the problem. But again, you can offer something that you can do. Like clearly it's a hard thing for you, and I get that, and I'm so sorry. But here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do something hard too. So again, people understand when somebody's actually seriously taking a boundary. And when I say, you know, this is what I'm going to do, when that happens again, this is what I'm going to do, that to me is showing a person. Even though I'm using my words, I'm showing them my behavior, that I'm actually invested in this. I'm willing to give something up that's easy for me, so to accommodate this boundary. Okay, so there's some of that. But if you're saying, hey, I need you to pick up the laundry, I'm not going to, you know, I'm by evidence, he puts the laundry on the floor, you know, you guys are just in a cycle, and he's telling you, you want him to be here, you on the ladder of trust. He's here putting laundry on the floor. You want him to be here. You're trying to pull him up, but we're not allowed to change people. We're not allowed to make people be something that they don't want to be. So what he's telling you through his behavior is, hey, I just want to let you know my clothes are gonna go on the floor. That's what's up. So again, if he's telling you that, then you have a choice here. You can get on board. The price of admission to being with this amazing man, that's a Dan Savage tool that I learned from him. Price of admission to being with this man is he's gonna have his clothes on the floor. Do you still accept? That it should have been in the vows. You know, this man is in your life. You love him so much. He does all these amazing things. He like hits it out of the park in every other way, but he's just a dude that's gonna put his shit on the floor. That's your price of admission to be with him. Are you willing to pay that price? Again, you could do all the creative things I mentioned before, but now we're down to it. No matter what you fucking do, he's not gonna do the laundry. He's not gonna move it off the floor. So again, is it worth being with this man, to be with him, and the price of admission? I just want you to know, I need to put my shit on the floor when I get home. Take it off, it's not going in the laundry. It's just the way that it is. So price of admission. And if you're willing to accept that, you're showing him that, and you're kind of showing him that now, but you just carry a resentment. So advanced bitches are resentment free, so we have to clear up a resentment. So one of the ways I do it, it's like, I get that this person, this is what they do. So I'm gonna come on the level of with them. I'm gonna let them do this because he does so many amazing fucking things, beyond, that he is worth this. He is worth this. And it becomes effortless just to pick a thing off the floor and put it in. And it's like, you're fine. I do that for my husband. Like he, you know, again, my shit's in the way, but you know, again, what if it wasn't? Like his shit is in the way. Like he works really hard. He really works super, super hard for the family. I do too, but I have enough room in my schedule to pick up the laundry off the floor and not have a big deal. But what if it is? What if this is fucking scorched earth, and like you are not going to be in a relationship with a person who does this, and you are taking it so personally that you're taking it as a personal offense? And it could be just a passive aggression situation that the person is really just trying to get your goat. The way that you show him that you're not okay with this could be many, many things. And this is how I would phrase it. Like, sweetheart, I love you so much. I adore you. I don't know what it is. It's probably from my childhood or something, but I cannot handle clothes on the floor. I just can't handle it. It makes me crazy. I am gonna go nuts if I see it again. So I suggest we have separate bedrooms. Or you say, I am fine with you putting laundry on the floor. I'm just gonna need it to be in this circle. Okay, if he's being passive aggressive, he's gonna put it outside of the circle. But you've got to let him know how serious you are with your behavior. And if you see clothes on the floor, it's time for you to move out of that bedroom. Or it could be, you know, when I see, he loves the bed made, when I see that on the floor, I'm not gonna be able to make the bed because I'm gonna be so upset and whatever. So you figure it out in your mind. It could be that, again, that this is scorched earth, and then it's just like, I'm so sorry, I can't be with somebody who's going to do this. And so I guess we're gonna have to split up, because, and I know that sounds extreme, but if you are so upset at somebody putting their clothes on the floor, then that's valid. That's fucking valid. You get to be upset if you want. You get to only date people who put clothes in baskets. You only get to be married to people who put clothes in baskets. This guy's not one of them. He's not. And so that's just the way that it goes. If it's a kid, It's easy. It's a consequence. It's like, it's no problem. If you want to put your clothes outside of the basket, it is no problem. It's not going to bother me at all. But just know, on the days I have to pick up clothes off the floor, those are the days you don't get your phone. Just wanted to let you know. And so that is showing with behavior that there's actually a consequence for the set boundary. I do a lot of this without talking. So as you can see, the first part, I was like, wow, I'm in a glass house. I'm throwing all these stones. What am I doing? Instantly. So for me, it's about lifting the resentment. But I may come across something that is a deal breaker for me. And I think the thing that I'm really trying to say in the end about with the whole like show people, don't tell them is, and that the only person that actually has to stick to your boundary is you, is that if you're not going to stick to your boundary, if it makes you so mad that he puts laundry on the floor, then you might have to fucking leave. Or you need to stop talking about it. Or you need to figure out a way to make this right. There are sometimes, don't tell my husband, but sometimes, I mean, you can tell him, he totally knows. But something can go on or whatever. And here's another thing I could do. This is what I'm talking about, but this is the example. So it's like, in my mind, I get $5 every time I pick laundry off the floor. $5 for me in a fun account. And so, and you can do it by the piece. One sock, $5, cha-ching. One shirt, $10, cha-ching. And then it's just like, well, why are you spending so much? You seem to be spending so much more money on books. Well, see, I had to do this thing because it was driving me crazy. I could not handle the clothes on the floor. So I decided I would get treats every time I picked up the clothes. See, that's another thing. And so again, that is an amazing tool, by the way, because you get treats and it gets so fucking fun to pick up laundry off the floor. It's like the most exciting thing. So that's the way I work. That's the way I operate. And my relationships are fucking awesome. Again, I do a lot of this without ever having to say a fucking word. But when it comes to saying the word, I need to make sure that I follow through. And I need to make sure what the consequence is. So it's like, I cannot be in this relationship with you if you put your clothes on the floor. I am so sorry. It's just my deal breaker. And then if you stay after that, you're lying. Like you aren't actually that interested. You're more interested in the, please don't do this. Oh, I did it. Oh, I'm mad that you did it. Please don't do this. Oh, I'm mad at you. You don't want that. That's just toxic. That's just codependency. That's just icky. An advanced bitch surveys the field, surveys the land, and tries to figure out how to solve fucking problems. And I tell you one thing people don't like are consequences. And again, it's not for me to dole them out, like let me dole out your consequences because I'm so smart and good. It's for me to stand by what I'm saying. I need to, if I'm saying, it's so important to do this, that, or the other thing, then am I showing that? Am I actually showing that it is important to me? Because when we set a boundary and then someone crosses that boundary and we're silent or we do nothing, we're actually showing disrespect to ourselves. So they showed disrespect by breaking the boundary, and now I'm showing disrespect by not following through. And a lot of times people don't follow the boundary, don't respect the boundary because they know you're not going to follow through. So when people know you're the real fucking deal and that you're going to honor your boundaries no matter what, like if Elizabeth needed to be in a world with no laundry on the floor, you better believe I'm going to create my world in which that doesn't happen, because I love myself and I will do whatever it takes to live the life that I want. It just so happens my relationship is so fucking awesome that laundry is a non-issue. It's a non-issue. As for many of the reasons I explained. There's other stuff that have been issues, and I've had to figure out how to set my boundary. So I hope that was helpful, and I'm happy to talk about any kind of boundaries. But the key, besides one last thing, the key is not to have an attitude about it, not to be so offended that somebody didn't respect my boundary. that is just more drama. What we want to do is like, oh, interesting, this is data. Where is he on the ladder of trust and where am I? What's the stuff that I could be doing to help solve this problem? So it's a problem that needs to be solved. And the main way and the most awesome way it can be solved is by your actions. So you have to believe what you're saying, believe in your boundary, and then be willing to do whatever it takes to follow through on that boundary. I hope that was helpful. Love you.